Robert Kyagulanyi. Good evening, Robert.
Good evening.
How are you after your 5 hours?
I don't know.
Very briefly, Robert, I'd like to hear your side of the story in terms of what exactly happened at the police earlier today.
Well, first of all, I think it's important to make it clear to my voters why I wasn't around yesterday. I received an invitation, a rare invitation from Bill Gates and his wife Melinda Gates to go and attend a global conference, which was also attended by former President Barack Obama and other prime ministers from across the world. And I thought it was important, so I agreed with my fellow members of parliament in the opposition that I should go there because it's also important. Our international relations are very important in our struggle. So that's why I went. It was all right. But as I was coming back, I stepped off the plane, and then the Kampala Metropolitan Police Commander and another police officer came to me and said they wanted to talk to me. I asked if I had a crime. They told me I didn't have a crime, so I told them they could talk to me at a later date because I was tired. It was a long flight. But as I was driving out of the airport, my car was blocked. They put metal thorns in front of my car, and consequently I was arrested, taken to Entebbe Airport Police Station, and I was questioned on different allegations of terrorism. They were alleging that Bill Gates is apparently giving me money to remove this government using illegal means and all such allegations. But eventually I was charged for inciting violence as per the audio and video that I recorded.
Speaking of this audio and video, Robert, you're a member of parliament.
Yes.
You have a platform in the August House,
yes.
And yet you choose to send missives on social media. Are there any surprises in terms of why you're being treated the way you're treated?
Well,
why don't you use the platform that you have?
That was not a missive. I told my voters right from the campaigns that my job is not only going to be in the parliament. As you already understand that the parliament is more or less a rubber stamp for the executive. So I still think that the power lies within the people, but these people have to be sensitized. So I was sending a message to the people to tell them that it's actually their constitutional right as per Article 3, subsection 4 of the Constitution, that every Ugandan has a right and actually has a duty to protect the Constitution. You see, if this Article 102B is removed, then the Constitution is useless. Then President Museveni is going to rule us forever. So I owned up that, and I told them that they're charging me, but that was only part one.
So there is a part two?
Yes, yes. And even right now on TV, I'm calling upon all Ugandans not to sit down, rise up and defend the Constitution before the Constitution is too weak to defend us.
Now, in an earlier statement, Robert, you called for a referendum on the age limit debate.
Yes.
But the law provides for a bill to settle an amendment. Why would you be seen to be advocating for a long, tedious, and what some people might actually say is an unnecessary process? Well,
anything that calls for the involvement of the people is not unnecessary. It's actually very, very necessary. You see, we cannot allow only 300 members of parliament to decide for 40 million Ugandans on such a very pertinent issue. Uganda has never transferred power using peaceful means. We have a president who has been in power for 31 years. By 2021, he's going to have been in power for 35 years. That is my age. And if we are trying to change the Constitution to allow him lead us forever, then we're going to sink much deeper in this mess. Look at our education system. Look at our roads. Look at the national debt. Look at the senseless murders. Look at the state of the nation. So if we don't rise up right now and sober up and put an end to this madness, then it's going to go on like that, and our children are going to ask what we were doing when the nation got to this point.
Very, very interesting thoughts. What's your take on the numerous bills and petitions that are coming to the Speaker of Parliament?
Actually, I was excited when I read a bill that's proposing President Museveni's retirement. You see, I'm not against President Museveni. I respect our president. And actually, I love him enough that I want him to retire with his dignity. I want him to be respected. He has had great achievements and of course some failures. So we are the people to protect him from himself. So if there's a bill that seeks to protect the president after he leaves power, then I support it. We should find a way of retiring our president with dignity.
But the president is not looking to retire.
Well,
has the president told you he wants to retire?
He doesn't have to want to retire. he should be forced to retire if he does not want to retire, because Uganda has produced very, very many formidable leaders. If a leader has been in power, actually if a party has been in power for 35 years and has not produced somebody to succeed the current leader, then it has actually failed.
As we wrap this up, Robert, you've been away for a couple of days.
Yes.
What's your game plan concerning this matter in the next few days before it comes up for debate in Parliament next week?
First and foremost, we are calling upon the public not to leave it to us. We go there to represent them, but when it gets too hot, we want to call our bosses. The voters are our bosses. We are only representatives. And if we see their voice suffocated, we have to call them up to get involved in this.
How do you want the public to get involved?
Well, this bill was dropped mainly because of the pressure from the public. So we want the public to put more pressure on us, the members of Parliament, to see that we do what they want, to see that we represent their voice. If it means coming to our houses, if it means demonstrating peacefully, because the Constitution provides for all that, the public must be involved in this because it is constitutional, it is not illegal. For as long as they are peaceful, they have the right to demonstrate. And on Tuesday, we're going to Parliament, and I'm personally calling upon my voters in Chadondo East not to leave this to me. Please join me.
Let us be realistic, Robert, as we wrap this up.
Yes.
What are the chances that we can actually have a peaceful demonstration on this matter, realistically?
We can have a peaceful demonstration if the police does not turn it violent. In this case, it is not the public that is violent. It is the police that is violent. So if I call upon my people to be peaceful. We carried out a parliamentary campaign for a whole month. Not a single person was hurt because people were peaceful. Even in this, I actually encourage my fellow members of Parliament to tell their voters to be peaceful but vigilant.
Perfect point to end this conversation. Yeah. Peaceful but vigilance in as far as pushing for people's rights is what Robert Kyagulanyi says. Thank you for taking time out.
Thank you very much. And let me thank my fellow members of Parliament for representing. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
And it is time for us to take a break, and Be Live at 9 returns shortly.